This is what nice people do. People who get played, who get taken advantage of, especially naive people, tend to repress a lot of negative things and only focus on the positive. Children do this more. That's why children are so dumb. That's why they're so damned. All right, let's keep going.
Serves as a psychological mechanism to boost our overall well-being. By recalling predominantly pleasant memories, the brain creates a sense of nostalgia that evokes feelings of happiness and contentment. This nostalgic lens allows us to romanticize the past and remember it more fondly than it may have been. In the case of food cravings, the brain intensifies the desire for a specific food when it is temporarily unavailable.
By the way, check out my new channel, Professor Alex. It's a channel that I created where I talk about spirituality, self-help, and topics like the ones you see here. It's completely different from the men's channel. So click on that right now, and there you'll be able to get 3 or 4 videos per week that you will never find on this channel. Okay, subscribe right now or else I'm closing it.
This can be attributed to the brain's reward system and the release of neurotransmitters like dopamine.
Or like for example, if you cut your arm off, right? A lot of people will have something phantom limb syndrome, where I don't know if this is phantom limb syndrome, but where you feel like your hand is there and you feel the pain. Like you're like, I know my hand is not there, but I can still feel it. And a lot of people feel like it's sharp. Like your brain is used to certain sensations. When it gets used to certain sensations and it's not there no more, your brain will recreate it. Like I said, if you suffer hearing loss and you can't hear like you used to before, your brain will then just create more sounds inside of your head to overcompensate. When you miss someone and they're not there for you, your brain will create a mental image of them, which will cause you to crave that mental image to become a reality, right? And if the person actually manifests in real life, it'll just create a complete sense of relief. And you'll notice you'll feel positive emotions. You'll feel like the release of emotions, and you'll want to bond with them. But the feeling of relief that this reality is not true, that it was just in my head, creates that feeling of like, oh my God, I like them. Like, fuck everyone, I want this person. You create salience. Salience is a psychological term for what we choose to focus on. And we only choose to focus on what's important, which receives more salience, and also what will cause us to die, which will also receive even more salience. That's why parents focus more on the kid who stresses them out more than the kid who's perfect.
When we want to eat something but cannot, the anticipation and desire for that particular food grows stronger. The brain accentuates the craving to motivate us to seek out and obtain the desired food, as the satisfaction of fulfilling the craving is associated with pleasure and reward. From a broader scientific perspective, these exaggerations can be understood through evolutionary psychology. Our brains are wired to prioritize survival and maximize pleasurable experiences. Amplifying positive memories, intensifying cravings, and magnifying affection for loved ones serve as adaptive mechanisms to enhance our well-being, maintain social connections.
So when you're in prison and you're in there for 15 years without knowing it, your imagination is going to start filling in the blanks because there are things that you don't know. So what happens? It'll start giving you fantasies. You're never going to leave. This is going to be the worst thing ever. Oh my God, I cannot believe this. And you'll notice that there's an involuntary voice in your head that comes with it, with images, intense images. And it'll exaggerate what's not there, right? It'll make the situation worse. Now, with somebody that we like and they're creating distance, depending on the level of self-esteem, whenever they feel that feeling that you're pulling away, and again, this only works if you're pulling away in a subtle way. For example, rather than saying I'm seeing someone, you could just add somebody new to your Instagram. And if the person likes you, he'll notice or she'll notice that you added someone new, right? That subtle thing where they have to go an extra step to find out is a sign that they like you because they're really paying attention. But also that extra step makes them feel like you didn't do that intentionally. It's not like a manipulation tactic. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, because this is what people do when they get caught cheating. They add somebody and the partner notices and you're like, how you notice that? It's because they were checking. And the only reason why they were checking is because they like you. You know what I'm saying? So they think that maybe you're pulling away, right? The doubt comes up in their mind. And all of a sudden, because they don't know why they feel that doubt, but they still feel it, their brain is going to try to give you a reason why. And usually it's worst case scenario. They're leaving. right? Just like the worst case scenario in prison, you're never leaving. You know what I'm saying? So you start thinking that they're leaving, and in that moment of you thinking that you're losing them, your brain all of a sudden will start to glamorize this person. It'll start exaggerating positive traits and diminishing negative traits, and it'll start to create a crystal, like somebody getting like crystal being crystallized in a cave. It'll just start attracting minerals and creating a beautiful image of you until it's broken and shattered through the feeling of relief. They're back. I didn't lose them, but now you have created an artifice of this person. Now there's a statue, and because the whole time you were mourning their death, now they're back. Now you feel like they've come to life, and it comes with an extra sense of relief, with a release of dopamine, but also with a feeling of closeness through oxytocin. I think both of them are not. I don't know. People, neuroscientists, I don't know. Don't be judging me, Melissa, the neuroscientist. That is not what I heard in my studies. Imagine Melissa being a neuroscientist. But that's how it is, man. And so when we like people, we just don't want them to feel that. Fuck that shit, man. Sometimes live your life, and they're gonna eventually do that. That's why when you're single and you don't care about someone and you live your normal life, you'll notice you do things that hurts their feelings. You're like, look, man, I don't want to go out tonight. I'm tired. They're like, but I prepared all week. And you're like, I don't know what to tell you. I'm tired. I don't want to go out. Let's just hang out next week. And they're like, all right, man, but this is some bullshit, right? And so, but if you like them, you will never do that. You're like, no, let's still go out. Live your normal life. That their normalcy will cause the person to feel like they're not, because you're not prioritizing them, you know? And again, there's nothing wrong with prioritizing people. What I'm trying to tell you, this is just the message. I'm trying to encourage you to live your normal life. Living your normal life will always cause people to feel insecure because you're minding your business and they feel like maybe you should give them more attention. And just like a child, they'll resent the fact that you're not giving them attention. And some people with pride will leave and you don't want them because they're not vulnerable. Like you gotta be willing to be rejected for the sake of loving somebody. You have to, or else you don't really love them. You love your ego more.